Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the Beth Israel Rabbi. It has certainly been hot outside. And not only has the weather been hot outside, but I think that it's pretty clear that the language in the world has become hotter. The language that people in general and certainly the leaders of the world are willing to use is not only hotter, but becoming more dangerous. And unfortunately, over the past week, we've seen things heat up even more when it comes to the relationship between North Korea and much of the rest of the world, especially to our neighbor to the south, to the United States. One of my favorite lines in the entire Siddur is Baruch Sha'amar v'haya olam. God spoke, and the world came into being. The language that we use has the power to create. The language that we use has the power to destroy. The language that we use has the power to build people, and to build the world. And the language that we use has the power to tear apart others, and to tear apart the world around us. Language, especially within the mouth of our leaders, is so powerful. I think about that not only in terms of what is taking place in the world today, but also in terms of the leaders of the Torah, specifically Moses. When Moses is first chosen to be the leader of the Jewish people by God, he says, I don't speak very well. And this particular individual who doesn't speak very well in the early part of the Torah becomes not only one of the greatest leaders that our people have ever seen, but he does so through the words that he chooses to use. In fact, the parsha in which we find ourselves this week, Parsha Ekev, is in the book of Devarim, in the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is Moses' very last speech to the Jewish people before he is about to pass away. He wants to ensure that his words are powerful, that his words are meaningful. As he says later on in the Torah, that his words actually penetrate into the hearts of the Israelites like a raindrop in order to feed them, in order to sustain them. In this week's Parsha, Moses says that while you were wandering in the desert, your clothes were always perfect. Your shoes were always perfect. Rashi, based on earlier rabbinic commentaries, asks, how is this possible that their shoes and their clothes never wore out? How could that be? The desert, the Midbar, was the worst of all places. They were wandering in great heat. They were wandering in the sand for 40 years. Certainly their clothes would have worn out. Certainly they would have outgrown their shoes. And Rashi says that actually that the clothes of the Israelites were washed by God's cloud of glory, cleaned them white. And that the shoes were taken care of as well. And that the clothes and the shoes that would have been outgrown, actually, he says, were like, according to rabbinic midrash, were like the shell of a snail that grew with the individuals. Well, we know that this isn't physically, literally possible. I believe that what Rashi and earlier rabbis were picking up on is that Moses was delivering words to strengthen the hearts and the souls of the Israelites while they were wandering in the desert. In time of great heat, in times of great challenge, Moshe wanted to use his words to strengthen the world, to strengthen the people, to make it better for them. And it is my prayer that that is what happens today, that all of us, and especially our leaders, are able to strengthen us and able to calm the world a little bit and build it with the words that we and that they use. Shabbat Shalom.